Target is using Jay-Z to get black customers back in its stores. Will you take the bait?
I'm trying to figure out how is it that Jay-Z is teaming up with Target, but Nicki Minaj seems to be the center of the conversation still. Is it this woman supposed to be canceled? I thought the culture was supposed to be boycotting Target. However, just like always, Jay-Z seems to be going against the grain, going against the culture, and actually going against what we actually stand for and supporting whatever it is that we're going against.
Okay, let's talk about Jay-Z selling Reasonable Doubt vinyls at Target, right? So I want to start this by saying, from the jump, Jay-Z is a capitalist. I don't care about all that being called a capitalist, like being called the N-word shit that he be on. Jay-Z is a capitalist. He was just on microphone bragging about being up 10 billion or whatever. You feel me? Your wife just hit $1 billion. Y'all capitalists.
It is amazing how some of y'all will go to great lengths and defend y'all favorite instead of defending black people's right to speak up for themselves. Because the people coming out here talking about, oh, it's selective outrage to be upset with Jay-Z, trying to say it's no big deal that he's got an exclusive deal with Target, trying to say that other artists also have exclusive deals with Target and Jay-Z is not. You guys are ridiculous.
My own level of awareness, and nothing Jay-Z does is going to make me go against my own level of awareness and convictions. So if you're second guessing yourself as to whether you're going to start going and shopping in Target because Jay-Z's album is going to be in there, that's about you and not about fucking Jay-Z.
For months, many black Americans have supported a boycott of Target. They argued that this little giant failed to maintain commitments that were important to many in the black community. I mean, for many people, this boycott became more than, just shopping elsewhere. It became a symbol of economic pressure and the collective action. Supporters encouraged the people to spend their money elsewhere, hoping their voices would be heard through their spending power. Now, a major debate has erupted after Jay-Z partnered with Target to release a special version of his iconic album. And that's where things are now getting interesting, because not everyone is seeing this situation like in the same way, in the same lens. Some people believe Jay-Z has like every right to do business with whosoever he chooses, and they say consumers should make their own decisions. But others are like arguing that Target is using Jay-Z's influence to attract black people back, to shop with them, okay, to their store, potentially undermining the spirit of the boycott within the black community. And that's the question people are now asking. Is this simply, simply business, or is there anything more than we know in this story? Watch this video to the end, and then we can have what exactly this means from all sides. Others are backing up with their own points, others are not. So whenever everything is over, we can come again for more commentary. If this is your first time, please subscribe. Otherwise, can you share, drop a like as we dive into this?
Let's get a couple things straight, okay? For one, there's the rumor that he doesn't own Reasonable Doubt anymore, so it's really not him making that decision. If you believe that, I got a bridge to sell you right now in San Francisco. This only took me about a 5 to 10 minute Google search, all right? Reasonable Doubt is the only asset that is owned by Rockefeller Record. On paper, it is owned by that record label. That record label is owned by Jay-Z. And when you want to talk about the boycott, you want to talk about other artists, okay? You can go and look at the timing. They brought up Alicia Keys. Her partnership with Target was back in like 2022. They brought up Kendrick Lamar. His partnership with Target was also in like 2022. Jay-Z's partnership isn't until now. And it is happening after we've been dealing with over a year of conversation, very open conversation, that black Americans are not going to be shopping at Target. A good portion of us have not been going to Target, ain't even been looking at a Target. And despite all the other people who still shop there, it is very clear this is being seen in their bottom line. Also, don't ever forget that this is not the first time Jay-Z has done something like this, and y'all are glossing over that fact. Y'all know what he did with the NFL. Y'all know he undercut not only Jermaine Dupri, another artist, but he undercut Colin Kaepernick and the movement that he was doing to bring awareness to police brutality in this country. Y'all really love to run defense for these people, these billionaires, these entertainers that have no interest in supporting the Black community here in America at times when we absolutely need them to speak up for us. Because y'all can say that entertainers don't have to speak for us all you want. They are the ones who are in the positions of influence who can actually speak to the people that have their thumb on the necks of our communities. They have the money and the resources that they can actually infuse into our communities to help us overcome so many of the obstacles that hold us back systemically in this country. But they choose not to do it. And so many of you just go, well, hey, they can do what they want. They don't make decisions for me. I don't think. It's crazy how much the Black community could accomplish if we truly stood in solidarity on things like this. There's not an obstacle that could get in our way. There is not anything that could keep us from achieving our goals if we actually stood in solidarity and worked together. But these artists, these entertainers, these people like Jay-Z who put themselves in these positions to cause us to have this type of discourse with each other are meant to do that on purpose. And all y'all on here on the internet who are defending him are allowing that to take place. It is wrong for Jay-Z to take this partnership at this time with Target. It is. It is a blatant attempt to lure us back into those stores. Whether you want to acknowledge that or not is not really up to me. That is what's going on.
I'm trying to figure out, how is it that Jay-Z is teaming up with Target, but Nicki Minaj seems to be the center of the conversation still? Isn't this woman supposed to be canceled? I thought the culture was supposed to be boycotting Target. However, just like always, Jay-Z seems to be going against the grain, going against the culture, and actually going against what we actually stand for and supporting whatever it is that we're going against. If y'all remember, Jay-Z did it with football. He did it with, like, he's doing it now with this. Like, he's done it with Tidal, where he sold Tidal to the white people. Like, you get what I'm saying? Jay-Z has continued to do this, and we continuously see this from Jay-Z. But then Jay-Z's puppets come out and they mention Nicki Minaj. And I can't understand why. What does Nicki Minaj put in her vinyl on Target in 2023 have to do with Jay-Z putting his vinyl on Target in 2026 when the boycott started in 2025? What does Nicki Minaj have to do with that when her album came out in almost 2 years before the boycott even started? So why is it that Jay-Z's associates are all coming out and mentioning Nicki Minaj's name? Why? Not only that, but they are trying to literally suppress people who actually love and support Nicki Minaj. They are trying to suppress their voices, allegedly, from being able to post content online by including their content in their cases. Like, this is getting crazy. Like, are we truly accepting the fact that people are actually outside trying to blame Nicki Minaj and say, what about Nicki Minaj? Nicki Minaj dropped her album on Target. Nobody cares about Nicki Minaj dropping her album on Target. Why would anybody care about Nicki Minaj dropping her album on Target when Nicki Minaj dropped her album on Target 3 years ago? We're talking about now. The boycott happened recently. Like, are we bugging? Like, the boycott literally happened within the last year. So why are we talking about an album that dropped 3 years ago? We're talking about everything that's happening now. And right now, Jay-Z is dropping his vinyl with Target while the Black American culture is supposed to be going ahead and boycotting. People are starting to wake up and really see that Jay-Z always seems to pin a deal with the same people that the black culture seems to be boycotting. Y'all don't see the pattern at this point? Y'all don't see how he runs to try to act like he's for the culture and he's propping the culture and he's supporting the culture, he's bringing the culture together and all of that, only for him to be profiting? And And the sad part about it is that the media is going to sit back and keep on bringing up Nicki Minaj while saying that Nicki Minaj is canceled. If this woman is so canceled, why is this woman being brought up every other minute? Every other article consists of a Nicki Minaj fact, a Nicki Minaj opinion, a Nicki Minaj this, a Nicki Minaj that. Leave Nicki Minaj alone. At this point, enough is enough. Pop y'all ish in the comments and let me know how y'all feel about this. Nobody's talking about all of the stuff that's going on with Rock Nation and Jay-Z, with all of these cases and lawsuits and all this alleged stuff that's been happening with the files and all. Like, nobody's talking about none of that. But everybody's bringing up Nicki Minaj's name in reference to Jay-Z dropping a vinyl with Target. That's so confusing because Nicki Minaj hasn't dropped anything with Target in 3 years. But we're talking about... That's how you know Nicki Minaj runs the internet and Nicki Minaj has the power that she thinks she has. Because at the end of the day, this woman is being talked about every single day at this point. But pop y'all ish in the comments and let's get into it. I love to hear what y'all got to say about this one.
We not going back to Target, and I don't give a damn if Jay-Z is selling his album in there. This is a very classic move by Jay-Z. He's been doing this type of stuff for a long time. That's why I didn't give a damn about his stupid-ass freestyle and everything like that. You know, like it was... that's why I'm not getting involved in whatever beef he trying. I don't like Jay-Z. I've loved his music. Always loved his music. One of, if not the greatest rapper, top, all-time, all that. Can't take that away from him. But Jay-Z has never been one of my favorite people. He has never been a genuine representation of the black community. He always talking about this all black he got albums after albums talking about black empowerment, all that stuff, all black everything. And I get, you know, he does stuff, but I'm from Brooklyn, okay? Jay-Z displaced tens, if not hundreds of thousands of Brooklynites, including people in my own family, because he did a deal to bring the Barclays Center there. Y'all forget about it now because people like going to the Barclays Center, but that ravaged black communities, took people out of their homes. When Colin Kaepernick took his knee, was making his stance, was bringing awareness to police brutality against black people, and that protest was making its waves through the NFL. Players were standing up and supporting him. It was making an impact on the league in a way that they could not ignore. Brought in Jay-Z. Jay-Z came in and said, we're done with kneeling. He also, that's how he got control of the halftime show. So now everybody forgets because, the halftime shows have been great. You know what I mean? We love the halftime show. Bad Bunny, Kendrick Lamar, we've had all these great things. No, Jay-Z got that by derailing a real movement that was happening. That was making an impact. Jay-Z did that. He always is the one. He is the final boss. He is the one that gets wheeled out in front of black people when they quite literally don't have an option, when they don't know how to reach us, when they feel like they've tried everything they can to get us to come back to wherever they are. They pull out Jay-Z. Don't be surprised if in 6 months we see Jay-Z talking about how much he loves shopping with his entire family at Chinese beauty supply stores. I promise you that is coming because that's who Jay-Z is. And we're not doing it anymore. We not. Okay? You want to make your music, you want to have your concerts, do all that stuff, Jay-Z. Stop getting involved in these situations with these corporations that are only using you because they don't know how to reach out to black people, because they don't know how to show us respect, and they refuse to show us respect. They just want our money. Not doing this with Jay-Z.
Jay-Z just signed an exclusive deal with Target during a black boycott, and people are big mad, saying he's putting capital over culture again, and here he goes selling us out, right? Except it's not entirely true, is it? And this is why reading beyond the headlines is so important, right? Target ain't the only place you can access Reasonable Doubt. They just have an exclusive artwork and white vinyl variant. It's not exactly the same as being the only place the album exists, is it? Not to mention, the high-profile boycott was officially declared over, I think, on March 11th or 12th. I think it was 11th. Now, even with that correction, don't get me wrong, I still feel that this is an important conversation to have. Because for a lot of black consumers, the trust with Target hasn't been repaired since the fallout over its DEI commitments. So when one of the most powerful black artists in the world gives Target access to his catalogue, cultural credibility, and audience, naturally people are going to ask questions, man. And I think we should. But we need to be honest about the full picture, because I'm seeing people say mental things like Jay's never done anything for black people. Like, come on, guys, you know that's not true. He's been connected to Bell support for protesters in Ferguson and Baltimore. He's a founding partner of Reform Alliance, which focuses on probation and parole reform, right? Team Rock has backed legal action and public pressure around justice issues. His foundation has supported scholarships and programs for young people trying to get through college. And the NFL partnership was publicly linked to social justice work through the league's Inspire Change initiative. Please let's not gloss over those things, right? Because it discourages future artists from getting involved in these things. Has Jay-Z had questionable moments? Of course. Dame Dash, Kaepernick, fair conversations about whether Jay chose business over loyalty. But I think that we need to look at it like this, right? When we're boycotting, we're supposed to be withholding our spending, our consumer power, not withholding black artists from taking money out of corporations and wider markets and bringing it back into the black community whilst we're doing that simultaneously. Let's not cut off our noses to spite our own faces. If I was advising Jay-Z, I'd say, if you're going to take a deal like this, get serious terms over the line, right? Terms that benefit your community and show that we stand on business no matter what. Contractual commitments, black-owned brands on shelves, black media spend, community investment, jobs, supplier opportunities, public reporting, even some of the demands that the boycott itself couldn't secure. You have the power to do it, like money into black-owned businesses, black banks, or HBCU training programs. Show that Target doesn't just get to rent black culture to clean up its image. More money, more problems. Jealousy, I said. Got the whole industry mad at me, I said. Don't forget to take your own advice, Jay, right? Anyway, with all this information available to us, right? I have to ask, are you still taking dinner with Jay-Z, the 50K, or are you going to become one of my paid subscribers? Anyway, let's talk in the comment section. What are your thoughts? Love yous.
I see y'all all pissed off about Jay-Z and his exclusive deal with Target. Can I say that Jay-Z does not make me want to go and shop at Target? I have my own level of conviction, my own level of awareness, and nothing Jay-Z does is going to make me go against my own level of awareness and convictions. So if you're second guessing yourself as to whether you're going to start going and shopping in Target because Jay-Z's album is going to be in there, that's about you and not about fucking Jay-Z. Because let's be so fucking for real. Jay-Z is not the only black artist or minority artist, which I think we're the majority, but that's a whole nother story, that had an exclusive deal with Target. Kendrick Lamar had an exclusive deal with Target. J. Cole had an exclusive deal with Target. But somehow you guys get so worked up about Jay-Z. If you are changing your mind or changing your awareness because someone else is making decisions for their personal life, like who they're choosing to work with, then you got some work to do, because Jay-Z ain't making me change my mind. And by the way, get a load of these freckles, child. No wrinkles, but very freckled. Chef's kiss. And I just cooked.
So here's the thing. When you guys try to compare the Target boycott versus the Asian boycott. The thing about Target put their stores in the communities that they wanted their shoppers from, i.e. the upper class wealthy community. That's where you find most of the Targets. So when it comes to the Target boycott, it's affected them, but not as much because we were never their target audience. When it comes to the Asian boycott, most of your stores are where? It's not where Target is. Because the gas stations that are near Target are the mainstream gas stations most of the time. You have your Quick Trips, you have your Circle K's. So you really can't compare Target boycott with the Asian store or market boycott because it's two totally different situations. Target placed their stores where they wanted their shoppers. You place your stores where you wanted your shoppers. The difference is where you placed it and who you placed it for. Get it?
Welcome back. Now, the story started when many black Americans organized to boycott Target, with supporters arguing that this company had moved away from commitments they believed were important to, black people, to the black community. For many people, this wasn't just about shopping. It was more of using economic power to send, their powerful message to this shop. But now the conversation has taken a dramatic turn because Jay-Z has partnered with the Target to release a special version of his classic music album. Now, suddenly, the debate is no longer just about Target. It's no longer about just the boycott. It is also about Jay-Z. Is he simply doing business, or is he undermining the movement that, black people organized to send a strong message to Target? Let's look at 5 major arguments that are being made by the people in this. Argument number 1, Target is using Jay-Z to bring back, black customers, black shoppers. How true is this? Okay, this is probably the biggest criticism being made, right now. Critics argue that Target knows Jay-Z remains one of the most influential figures in black culture. Okay, so when special release appears in Target stores, some people believe it is like no coincidence. They argue that Target is essentially borrowing Jay-Z's credibility, credibility to black people to repair its relationship with black consumers. How true is that? Anyway, let's discuss in the comment section. But in their view, this is bigger than music. They see it as a marketing strategy aimed directly at community that has been withholding its spending, withholding its black dollar. Argument number 2, Jay-Z is putting business before community, like he's prioritizing his career before and later he's disregarding the power of community as black community. Now, some critics are calling Jay-Z as a capitalist. Okay, he's a capitalist first and foremost. Again, yeah, this is what people are saying, and it's all worth discussing. What do you think? By the way, their argument is simple. They say Jay-Z has built an empire by making business decisions based on profit. He doesn't care about, my fellow black people, my community, where I'm going, he doesn't care. He cares about money. And because of that, they believe community concerns will always come second. He will prioritize money first. By the way, let's discuss how true is that. Now, whether people agree with that or they don't agree, that criticism keeps appearing throughout, the entire debate. Some are even pointing to previous controversies involving Jay-Z. They argue that this isn't like an isolated situation. It's not coincidence. Instead, they see some sort of pattern. Okay, something which is like pattern. It's not the first time this thing is happening. Argument number 3, people love Jay-Z's music but don't trust his decisions. Yeah, that's something funny. They love your career, they love your talent, but they don't trust how you make decisions. So this is where things are getting interesting. A lot of the criticism isn't just coming from people who hate, this musician Jay-Z. In fact, many openly acknowledge his greatness. They call him one of the greatest rappers of all time. And he's still standing. His music is still beautiful. They place his influence on music. They place his success. But then they add a big but. Okay, so when somebody says but, it's when something changes. When it was negative, it tends to positive. If it started with positive, it tends to negative. They say respecting the music doesn't mean agreeing with every business move that Jay-Z is making. That's why some critics are saying, I can love the artist and still disagree with the man. And for those people, the argument isn't just his talent. It's the message they believe this partnership sends. That's what people are trying to argue. Argument number 4 is that this man, Jay-Z, has the right to do business whenever he wants or with everybody he wants. Not everyone is criticizing him. In fact, some people think like the outrage is completely overblown. Their argument is that Jay-Z is an independent businessman. So sometimes he cannot care about what other people made. He can just look at his fame, his career, his money. Okay, maybe this one can be close to that one who say Jay-Z is a capitalist, somebody who prioritizes on money first. So I don't know. But these people say he has the right to partner with any company he chooses, any person he chooses. They say that the consumers should think for themselves. He's not making decisions for the black community. If you want to go to Target, go on your own. Don't go because of Jay-Z. If you don't want to go there, it's okay. That's your decision. Don't go there because of somebody. And one woman in the discussion pointed out, something that also got my attention. She basically said, if Jay-Z releasing an album at Target suddenly changes your conviction, then maybe the real issue isn't Jay-Z, isn't the artist. Maybe the issue is how strongly you believed in the boycott to begin with. Because if you made a decision to stick to this decision, to stick to this idea, and then something has happened, you are leaving that idea, maybe it can bring some questions on how serious were you when you were making that idea in the first place. So in other words, if someone can influence your principles that easily, with that, so much easiness, then perhaps those principles they were not, strong. Supporters say people should stop treating celebrities like political leaders. They argue that adults are capable of making their own shopping decisions. Argument number 5 is like the last one. Is about the boycott. We are talking of the boycott of Target. And remember, currently there is the boycott of Asian businesses, which is also called wealth of transfer or redirection of black money. Now, argument number 5 is the boycott debate, which is more complicated than people think. Toward the end of the discussion, there is another lady, a woman. She introduced a different perspective. She compared the Target boycott to cause for boycotts against certain Asians, Asian-owned businesses. Her argument was that these situations are not exactly like the same. Yes, we say boycott Asian businesses, we say boycott Target, but they're not the same according to her. She pointed out that Target historically placed the stores in communities it wanted to attract. Meanwhile, many small neighborhood businesses operate in completely different environments and depend on different customer bases. That's her argument. And she continues to say whether people agree with that or not, but it's all up to them. So her point highlights something so important, like important in a way that we really need to look at it. What's the difference between boycotting Asian businesses and boycotting, Target? And she continues to say not all boycotts works the same way. Not all businesses are affected in the same way. Not every economic campaign has the same goals. Not every boycott sends the same message. So where does all this leave us? Well, it leaves us with a community deeply divided over what solidarity should look like. Not divided in spirit, but maybe in definition of what exactly is happening. Even this boycott of Asians, some people are saying we're not boycotting all Asians, we're just boycotting Asians that are treating us like badly. There are Asians that treat us well. Other people are defining this boycott as its wealth of transfer. So being wealth transfer, it doesn't matter which Asian is what. It's just about we want to invest back in our community. So that's where there's something like, but it's always good to be one in spirit. You may differ in how you look at things, but at the end of the day, family matters. As the family community, for black family matters. Community first. That's what matters at the end of the day. And some people believe supporting the boycott means rejecting partnerships like this one entirely. Others believe individuals should be free to make business decisions without being accused of betrayal, without being controlled. Some see Jay-Z as a helping Target. Others see Jay-Z as simply helping himself. Others don't believe the partnership changes anything at all. Now, what makes this debate so fascinating, so jaw-dropping, is that it goes beyond one album release. Okay, this iconic album of Jay-Z. It raises bigger questions about loyalty. It raises bigger questions, strong questions about, celebrity influence. It raises questions about economic power, and perhaps most importantly, it raises, deep questions about what people expect from influential figures during moments of social and economic protest. One thing is certain: the conversation around Jay-Z and Target is far from over. And judging by the strong reactions of all sides, those people who are defending him and those who are criticizing him, this debate may continue long after the records are sold. Because we may have questions that now, at the end of the day, what really happened? Okay, so let me know from you, what's your take on this? What's your take on this? I would love to hear from you. And if this was your first time, to coming to this channel, I can kindly ask you to like, to subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comment section. Otherwise, see you next time when I'm proud of you.